Hi, grant writing peeps. Good to see you. Coming at you from the home studio here. Um, wow, this is very different than I think any of us thought it was going to be. But nonetheless, we shall work together. We shall achieve our goals, and we will create good grant applications. Um, I do want to start out a little bit of an update on the grant application for the food bank. Um, I spoke with the food bank staff, and as you can predict, they are slammed because of the COVID 19 crisis lockdown as well. I've actually been volunteering out at the food bank along with my 14-year-old son, packing bags and things like that for people, or packing boxes. And they indicated that they would not have time until this coming week, to meet with me for me to turn in the grant application. So I did want you to know that hadn't been turned in, hasn't been forgotten, but I'm sort of holding off on getting it to them because they're slammed. I'm holding off at their request. So I want to let you know that. What we're going to do for the rest of the semester is, whether we were going to meet face to face or whether we're going to meet individually and online or work at our own pace, you're going to be working on your individual grant application. And so that's what we're going to do. Had this lockdown not happened, I would give you a series of assignments, and you would come each week. You would show me this. I would go spend a little bit of time with you one-on-one in class while you're working. So you'd be spending your time working in class, and then me meeting with you individually as well. I would have some lecture, for lack of a better term. I would have spent some more time specifically talking about some things like budgeting, things like that I would like to have. My son's about to walk behind me there as well. And I spent time on budgeting and a couple of our other topics, which I'll talk about a little bit. But I think you're going to be okay because I can still do this. I can still teach the class largely the way I was going to run it individually, because I will conduct our sessions each 7 p.m. as long as people want to stay online as well. But I'm also available for consultation, office hours, things like that as well. So I can still work with you one-on-one as you work on your grant applications as well. So the way the class is going to run, pretty much the way that my online classes run regularly, and it's going to be set up by weeks. Once you sign on to Blackboard, you'll see online portion of the course begins here, and then you'll see the week of March 23rd to the 27th. And when you click on that, I think it's important to have a regular schedule, and each week we're going to have do 3 things. We're going to have a short video. It will not be a lecture. I don't like videotaped lectures. I'm not much of a lecturer, as you can tell. But it'll be me talking like this, giving you an overview of the week's work, which I think is important. And it will also be maybe information, a video from somewhere else, a content video or things like that as well. But real short, communication, overview of the week as well. There will be readings. We're going to be reading the McElrath book, most of the McElrath book as well, which, as I mentioned, is the workbook where you read the book, you do the exercises, and once you're done, you know everything you need to know pretty much to write a grant as well. You'll notice, I'm not saying to look at the syllabus, but I am dropping some of the readings that were originally going to be covered just because of what's going on as well, because we've lost a week of class. I don't think you're going to lose any essential information. They were just a supplementary information that gave you a little bit broader perspective on some of the topics. But between the Carson Fox book, which we've already done with, and the McElrath book, I think you will get most of what you need to know in terms of grant writing. So we're going to watch videos, we're going to read, and then we're going to write things that you got to write as well. This week it's going to be reading the first 2 chapters of of McElrath, and then doing the worksheets. Several people are saying, "Oh, I lost those worksheets." I have put them in the readings library of Blackboard. They're at the very top. Unfortunately, they are all one big file, and so you just click on those, and then what you'll need to do is just cut and paste whatever it is that you're going to be doing your worksheet on. And then that chapter, and then into a Word document, fill it out, and then submit those separately as well. And then the third item that I'm going to have you do this week is I'm going to have you make a timeline. So you know what your project is, and I'm going to have you make a timeline, basically with dates and activities. By this time, by the end of the semester, I will have completed this grant application. And remember, we're following the format for the standard grant, which is there in the assignment section of Blackboard under Portfolio 2. And it's the same thing we talked about before. It's just the format that pretty much all grant applications follow. Again, it may not be the exact format that your individual grant has, but if you follow that standard grant format, it'll be submittable. You'll have everything ready that you need to go. So that's what we're going to be doing. You'll note when you log on to Blackboard, I have asked you to do 3 things before you get started. The first is I want you to check with your agency and make sure they're still interested in working with you on a grant. Many agencies are continuing to work during the COVID-19 shutdown. Others have ceased operations or are limiting what they're doing. So you need to make sure you can still do your grant. If for some reason you can't, you need to let me know right away, and we will see if we can arrange an alternative for you. I'm sure we can. We'll arrange an alternative. Second, I will need you to go ahead and email me the description of what specifically you're doing for what agency and who your contact is. I know you've done this already when you did your planning memo, but things may have changed with that agency and other things. So you just need to confirm that as well. And the other thing, and this is probably the most important thing this week, is you need to arrange a video chat or a phone conference with me at some point. Now I can meet with you during the day, I can meet with you in the evening. We're all kind of on lockdown here, so I'm not going anywhere as well. Within reason, I can't meet with you at 2 in the morning, but within reason, I'll meet with you at your convenience. And the purpose of this is for me to work with you to help you identify a funding source. I'm going to get on the grants database that I've got a subscription to and help you find it as well. I would prefer if you do it on Zoom, and the Zoom link is there as well. I've also emailed you the Zoom link as well. The reason for doing Zoom specifically is I can share my screen with you. You can watch me get on the Foundation directory online and look for stuff for your grant as well. So you can follow along with what I'm doing on Zoom. You can't do it with WebEx, but if you don't like Zoom, or you can't make it work and you prefer to use WebEx, or you prefer to use WebEx, which you can find in Blackboard at the or under communication tools, there's a section called WebEx meeting as well, and you can get on and contact, and we can WebEx together as well. But that's really important that we communicate one-on-one. Could be phone, could be video chat, and help you find a funding source. So, tengo la fe. We will get done. We will still have a good grant, and let me know how you need help. Thanks.